Wish TV, Indiana's only statewide TV news network. News 8 continues now.
In a News 8 interview, he said he'll be happy as a national candidate, but mentioned concerns about public scrutiny.
Obviously, it will be a different type of environment.
Well, for 2 decades, Wish TV's political pair, reporter Jim Shella and photographer Jim Hester, witnessed history on the local and national levels. For this week's Wishtory, they recall the week in 1988 when Indiana Senator Dan Quayle learned he was to be George H.W. Bush's running mate.
You know, who was this kid? And he would literally, on a Saturday when I was working on the weekends, come knock on the back door. Hey, you guys want to ask me anything? You guys want to ask me anything? And, you know, never in a billion years would have I thought this guy will go on and be a vice president.
Dan Quayle's rise to fame was quite the surprise for Wish TV's staff back in the 1980s.
I didn't think he would ever go on to be a congressman.
Our first convention was 1988 Republican convention in New Orleans.
Wish TV's long-running political team, reporter Jim Shella and photographer Jim Hester, bore witness to Quayle's biggest moment. A moment not everyone saw coming.
Monday morning, the first day of the convention, we did a one-on-one interview with Quayle. Tuesday morning, we did a one-on-one interview with Quayle. Late Tuesday morning, the executive producer at Wish called and said, you guys need to find another story. This one's not going anywhere. And then, of course, Tuesday afternoon.
And I have made a choice.
And at that point, things just got crazy.
But when the going gets crazy, the pros come prepared.
Jim had the good sense he said we should have a tape of Dan Quayle. Just Dan Quayle being a U.S. Senator in the state of Indiana, just his face, anything we can get of Dan Quayle.
What we call a pitch reel.
A pitch reel.
Him
right.
at various events.
Yeah. So we probably had about 10, 15 minutes maybe that we put on a videotape. Didn't realize that thing was going to be the most valuable piece of tape in the world.
My choice for the vice presidency is Senator Dan Quayle of Indiana.
We weren't able to get to Dan Quayle's announcement. We missed that. So, but we knew we needed it. But we had Dan Quayle video. so we switched and traded and did all kinds of great things, political things.
Shella and Hester had a front row seat to much of Indiana's political history during their 20-year team-up.
She didn't like the press. Here's the story. Here's the story.
Like this one-on-one interview with then Senator Quayle, his vigilant wife Marilyn nearby, right before President Bush's announcement.
When we finished the interview, I looked at Senator Quayle and said, is there any chance that we could be there when you get the phone call?
Up or down?
Yeah, that we could record you taking the call from President Bush. And Senator Quayle sat back in his chair and looked at the ceiling and said, I hadn't thought of that. And before he could say anything more, Marilyn looked over and said, absolutely not. And he looked at me and said, well, I guess not.
I just hope when they tell me to be at such and such a phone at such and such a time, that they only want me to wait for about 2 minutes, because I don't think I can wait much longer.
Well, as it turns out, they called his hotel room and he was out taking a walk and they had to call back.
A light-hearted exchange, but the harsh spotlight soon focused in on Dan Quayle.
The Quayle nomination comes at the end of a day filled with controversy over Dan Quayle's background. But for these Indiana delegates, that does nothing to lessen the luster of the moment.
The morning after Quayle got picked,
George Bush led Dan Quayle before reporters, saying his selection as a running mate was a tough call, but the best choice.
It's the most crowded hotel ballroom I've ever seen. There had to be 200 TV cameras in there.
He acknowledged that at 41, Quayle is young for the position, but said his youth is a tremendous asset.
Senator Quayle is one of the rising stars in the Republican Party.
And he gave some very bad answers to the questions.
Quayle deflected questions about failure to serve in Vietnam, involvement in Contra fundraising, and a 1981 Florida weekend that included other congressmen and former lobbyist and Playboy model Paula Parkinson.
That has been covered and there's nothing to it.
And all of a sudden, he was a target for the media and the Democrats and for a lot of Republicans. And in some ways, it never got better.
I spent the war in Indiana. Getting shot was not for me.
A lot of people feel that a few years back he took the cowardly way out, because everyone knows that's my age that to get into the National Guard in 1968 was just about impossible.
I did not know in 1969 that I would be in this room today, I'll confess.
Anybody who's in the public eye ought to be ready to take the heat, whether it's serious news questions or a little ribbing.
Nevertheless, a Quayle staffer called the newspaper account a cheap shot.
A long, sleepless week, but this pair continued to work smarter to bring as many facets of the nomination as possible to Wish TV's audience.
On the last day of the convention, Dan Quayle had, I believe, 4 public appearances, and we couldn't get credentials to any of them. But we found somebody from another station in the country in each case who had been there and went and traded pitch reel video for their Today video. And so we had a story on Thursday night that looked like we'd been in Dan Quayle's pocket all day, and we never saw him.
We're going to get as much video. We're going to do the best we can for our viewers. And that's, you know, I know it sounds kind of hokey, but it's the truth.
Good to see them both. Dan Quayle served 1 term as vice president. He and President George H.W. Bush ran for re-election in 1992, losing to Bill Clinton and Al Gore. He declined to run for governor here in Indiana in 1996 due to health reasons and retired to Arizona. He returned to national prominence in January of 2021, counseling then Vice President Mike Pence on certifying the 2020 election results. Quite a historical career path, some 40 years after knocking at Wish TV's back door. As for Jim Hester, he retired from Wish TV in 2009, Jim Shella in 2016. Both remain avid consumers of current events locally and nationally. We'll have more on their Wishtory in the coming weeks, as they have so many more stories to tell.